We're live. Woohoo.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Teresa.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How is everybody today?
It's a gorgeous day here.
Is it?
It is. It's going to be kind of warm, but right now it's just beautiful out. Yeah, sunny. We haven't had a drop of rain in about 5 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a
So I
long
don't know how everybody else is. Well,
time.
you have people with hurricanes and then drought. So
Yeah, that's
we
true.
haven't had a drop.
We have, well, it's pretty decent today, to be honest. It was horrible all week. It was rain and winds and just crazy. Like, I think we were getting some kind of back end of somebody's hurricane from somewhere, you know.
Right.
And now it's warmed up because we had a very sudden temperature drop. It was like really hot, 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 hot. And then the next day it's freezing cold,
I love
winter coat
that.
out.
And you put all the summer clothes away, and next thing you know, you're getting the sweater.
Well, no, I just went out and bought like 4 dresses, and then it's freezing cold, and I'm like, oh my god, now what do I do?
Oh, don't put it away yet. You'll have to get it back out, I'm
No,
sure.
no, no. Next week is supposed to be okay. I'm too scared to say it to not jinx it. Hi, Sue. Hi, Betty. Good morning, Beth.
Hello, everyone.
Well, hello, everybody. So, what are we talking about today? What?
Today we are talking about fabric hardener.
Ooh, woo,
I
what
originally
is
bought
it?
I bought the little bottle. There's a small size and a large size. And
Wait, so which one is
um
that? That one's
yeah,
the one.
y- you need the big one
Yeah.
because it's once you get started, you kind of want to do it again and again.
Mm.
And it's fun. It is a little messy. You can wear gloves.
Definitely
Um,
wear gloves. I'm just saying.
but last night I was well, two couple nights ago when I was thinking what I wanted to do, I was like, you could do. I thought of you about a balloon and
Yeah.
a hot air balloon and get a real balloon and cover it with strips of this and then pop the balloon and um, so anyway, I just kept thinking of all these
Oh.
great ideas, but I'm just not a
Are
super.
you are you gonna do it? You should do it.
No, you should do it.
Oh, you should do it.
I I think you would be awesome at that. No, so it led to that thought led to another project, which I'm going to show you, which we're going to do. But what I want to show you first is what I used it on for
I
uh,
love
the
this.
the paper, the dancer, and originally I had planned to do the curtains in clay,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working with it and rolling it out, and I just couldn't get it to work, and somehow it hit me to do the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what that is. It's just an old t-shirt and I painted it after. But when I was done, I realized you can use these pigment pastes. You can add it to the fabric hardener, and this blue would have been absolutely perfect. And because painting
Oh,
it afterward did take me a lot of time.
yeah. And
Um,
does it soak up the paint as well? Like,
no, because it's
going,
dry.
oh,
I didn't paint it until it was completely dry. It takes
yeah.
about, if it's really thick, the t-shirt was kind of thick and pretty wet, it's going to take at least 24 hours, maybe a little
Mhm.
bit more to dry. But if you're using cheesecloth, it might take at least 12 hours because the project I'm going to show you I did it at night, and by the next day it was almost completely dried the next
Mhm.
morning. So real thin gauzy material is going to be faster. The directions say you can only use it on cotton and wool.
Mhm.
So I imagine there people tried it on other things and it didn't work. So that's what's recommended. I've never tried it on anything besides that. I tend to just do it on cotton.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so after it's dry, you can paint it. and it dries hard. You don't need any glue to fasten it on. It just, once your material is soaked in it, you put it on and it will stick, which is good and bad. So if you want it to, hold on one second. So what I did here, we're going to finish up doing, let me turn you down. And this is the scary part.
This is where we might fall, we might not, who knows.
I'm holding my breath. Okay, don't anybody move. So this fun contraption, does that look okay? Are we all right?
Yeah.
I feel like I should have been a little bit higher.
No, it's okay.
Change it now. So I'm making a ghost. So this is cheesecloth, and I just did one thin layer. And what I did was I rigged up this. I needed a ghost shape, and I couldn't find an
avocado.
So I took an avocado and I covered it with plastic because I wasn't sure if it would stick or not. Like I said, it will stick to what you put it on. But so this little piece, I'll show you this. I did this with, I added the pigment, the metal pigment in fire gold to the fabric hardener in the cup. And then I just put a little cotton, a little piece of the t-shirt in there, soaked it up, and laid it across a little cup to dry. So when I pulled it off, it did really stick to it. So if you don't want it to stick, you should lay it on plastic, you know, put plastic between your barrier. Maybe parchment paper would work too. So I just used plastic wrap.
Very nice. Good morning. Hello, everybody who's joining us. Hello.
Good morning. If you just joined, we're doing fabric hardener today. So I made this little ghosty, but he seemed a little thin. I wanted a couple more layers. So I'm just going to show you how I'll add a couple more layers on top of him. And then I thought he'd look really cool with, you know, draw some eyes on him or make some eyes and then put some lights inside.
Yes.
And it's also so lightweight, you could make them and hang them.
Yes.
Because it's the cheesecloth. So you can put, you know, some kind of wire or just thread through it and hang them. So you can either put this on by put the fabric hardener in a bowl or a cup, something that you can soak your material in, but you could also paint it on. So this was like, it was a little, it felt like it wasn't hard enough. So I painted some on after, and that made it even a little harder.
Yeah, you can layer on the fabric hardener if needed.
Yeah, it's pretty darn hard. I mean, it's because this is thin right here. You can bend it a little, but honest to goodness, I can't bend this. It's not moving. So it's really hard. It's effective. So I'm going to use gloves. And it's a little messy. It is water-based, so it just comes right off, warm water and soap. I did use it with my bare hands a little bit, and it came right off. It was no big deal.
Nancy also enjoys peeling stuff off of her hands, as I learned earlier.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't like peeling glue off their hands?
I know. As we all do. We're all in this club together.
Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit in a cup here. And I have two more pieces. I'm going to do them separately. All right, so I'm just going to pour some in. And you want to soak your fabric pretty good. So
does it dry clear or does it dry white?
It dries clear.
Okay.
So it does start out white. It will dry translucent. And you want it soaking but not dripping. So you should squeeze off the excess. It shouldn't be dripping with this stuff. but so it's a little bit harder to use with the thin, this gauzy material. It's a little bit easier with the t-shirt, the old t-shirt. I've also done it with ribbons.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're making a project, you're making a bauble or a tag, and you want your ribbon tied in a bow and you want it to stay a certain way, it's really nice to use it on that, and you can paint it on after you have the ribbon in place.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to lay this over top and then stretch it out.
Can you use a heat gun on this?
I don't know. I wouldn't. It's just not something I would try to rush, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't try it, and I've never seen anybody use it, so really I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to give this a couple more layers, because if I put the lights inside, I didn't want it to be too glaring. Now on the next one, let's add a little bit of metal pigment to give it a little color. We can add gold, a little gold metal pigment. Let me just get a stick to mix it.
It's a very fun medium.
Yeah, this cup is huge.
So many doors in terms of like where you can take your project.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like when it hit me to use it on the curtain, I was like, okay, first of all, why didn't I think of it before? But wow, this is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
You only need a little bit. So I'm just going to add this to that and mix it around. Wow. Ooh, yeah. I know Yvette likes that.
I do. Turn it to the camera.
So it turned, it took away a little bit of the metallic away from it, but it comes back. It almost got like a little bit of creamy looking.
Betty says dresses, hair, 3D landscapes, flowers. Exactly.
Well, Pentart did a really fun project with all their creators. So now this is I used a lot, so I'm going to try to scrape some off. They all made hats. So if you look through the Pentart page, this came out about a year ago, I think. And all their team made different kind of hats, and they're really fun to look at. So that was pretty creative. But yeah, there's a lot of gorgeous projects with this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to take pictures of this when it fully dries so you can see.
Definitely. We need to see the finished ghosty.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that really like working with textiles, and this is a nice.
And right now is just the perfect time to get all of that cheesecloth out.
Yeah.
Seriously, this is a genius idea.
And I couldn't figure out how to, you have to start rigging things up, which isn't my thing, but you could, make it like floating more. And
yep. And this like the little ghost is such a great project idea for like kids, if you have kids, grandkids, and all of that, because again, fabric hardener is water-based, so it's not going to be toxic. They can get it on their hands and then just peel it off, for fun for them.
And cheesecloth, my goodness gracious, it doesn't cost that much, and you get so much.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, when I did this first layer, after I got it all wet, I was taking it apart and laying it. And I was like, wait a minute, this is even more, it was twice as big as I thought it was. It had another fold in it.
Oh.
I just kept pulling it and pulling it and pulling it.
It's like one of those magic cloths.
Yeah.
Magicians use.
So you have time to play with this. I said it takes so much time. It takes at least this will take at least till, tomorrow morning to be fully, completely dry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, by tonight it should be, but you have time to place it and move things around and play with it.
Yeah.
So that's the ghosty.
Betty is asking, do you have to seal it? What if it gets wet after it's hardened?
Okay, so no, you don't have to seal it. And yes, if you so after I painted my panel, the curtains, I painted it after it was dry
Mm-hmm.
and hard. But when I painted it, it did get a little bit soft, but it hardens back up again.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think I'd pour water over it, but if it gets a little wet, it will harden up again.
So it might soften it up, but it's not going to
Right.
fully like take everything apart and just.
No, it will reharden.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is the ghost. And we're going to do one more project. I'm going to show you how to mix with pigment pastes, because you can mix it. I think there's another color I don't have. I have red, blue, yellow, and black. And we're going to use the black. So let me just clean up. I should have gotten another. I have one more glove here. Let me change one glove. Any other questions yet?
No, I don't think so. Sue just says the paint ended up being the sealer on your project on the curtains.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to seal it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could see when I was holding it up, but I added wax afterwards. You can add, other things to it, like decor paints or the contour liners. Just trying to think of what else. All right, let me move this out of the way. And we'll see what he looks like tomorrow.
Can't wait to see it. Definitely need to see pictures of it when you finish with it.
Okay. All right, so for this, I'm going to use a piece of cotton, a piece of the t-shirt. So I used, is this Gothic Stripe?
Yes.
The new fall release Decoupage Queen paper, and the new fall release mold. I broke this. I snapped this right off. I have another one, and I let it dry, but I didn't sit it right, and it's curved. So after this was very easy to pour, which I was so surprised because it's such a tiny little stand, but it really was no issue at all, but I snapped it off.
No, pouring is easy. It's that when you take it out and actually start using it, you've got to be careful.
Yes. All right. So this, I'm sort of going to do a half curtain like I did on the big panel. I'm going to use the pigment paste and the fabric hardener. And here I'm going to use it in the bowl because it's wider. And
there's a fur baby in the background. Aww.
Oh, can you see him? Shh. They hear the chickens.
Oh no.
Morning is very loud around here. I got 2 new chickens, and well, I got 7, but 2 of them are so loud. They just scream for hours before they lay their eggs.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, oh, give me a break. It's not even that big of an egg.
It's a big deal for them, okay?
I guess. Duke, stop. Okay, so you just keep pouring it on until you feel like it's totally saturated. And you want to like unfold it and make sure you've gotten it everywhere. So your whole piece is wet.
Yes.
All right. Let's add the pigment paste. Don't know how much. We'll just add a couple drops and see. Okay. Went out so bubbly. Let's stir that around.
Is that black pigment paste?
Yes, this is black. I sealed
Uh-huh.
my canvas after I decoupaged. I did the decoupage glue on top, but then I sealed it with a matte varnish.
Mm.
I just wanted to seal it really well because I thought that might be one of the drawbacks of making it a color first. Like you don't want to drag it all over your
Yeah.
project, and
Mhm.
so there's probably pros and cons of whether you want to paint it first or afterwards.
Yeah, that might be something to think about.
I mean, I didn't mind painting it after. It just took a little while, but that doesn't, it's kind of calming to me to sit and paint it. It's kind of rewarding to see it turn color.
Hmm. Sue says, well, me, it's the family of 5 ravens yelling at me in the morning and stomping on my aluminium roof. Sue, come on. That's cool. You have 5 ravens.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
heard the blue
that's
jays
bragging
screaming at each other.
rights. Betty's asking, how many chickens do you have now?
Oh, there's 13 out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Really, it's a little crowded. I should really only have about 11, but they're all right.
What do you do with all of them eggs?
Sometimes I trade for things. So
Oh,
I've traded for honey.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. And also the place where I used to take my dry cleaning, my husband doesn't need dry cleaning anymore, but we
Mhm.
used to trade dry cleaning for eggs. He
Nice.
loved my eggs. Yeah, so that was kind of fun. And then I
Those
just give a lot to my family. They get a lot of eggs.
buy eggs. To be fair, in this economy, it's a good thing.
Well, it's funny because I never look at the price, and I looked the other day and I was like,
Mhm,
wait, what
mhm,
happened?
mhm.
It just went up. I mean, they were like, I mean, it goes up and down and up and down. I don't know. I haven't bought
Yeah,
eggs in
but
7 years.
it's definitely the price has definitely increased a lot over the
Yeah.
past few.
I don't
Mhm.
know why, just recently.
Rennie says, "Remember how we felt pushing our babies out, and how many eggs do they push out a day?"
I know. Oh, only one a day. Just one a day.
Or
But yeah,
still,
I know. I know. But, some of them are just quiet about it and others are just complainers.
that
Okay.
would be, I'd be a
So,
complainer.
so the amount of time that took to color this is a lot less than it is to paint it.
Yeah, that's very saturated now. Yeah,
Yeah. So I didn't want any. And if you miss a spot, you can just come back and paint it with
yeah.
black acrylic or chalky paint. Okay. So now you have to carefully lay this down because I don't want to be dragging black all over it.
Da da da.
Okay. And like I said, it's nice you don't need to
Hold
glue
your
it.
breath.
So you can just place it down and play with it.
Yeah,
And you don't need to worry about it sticking. It will stick.
yeah. Just make sure that you varnish before you do this.
Yes.
If you decoupage underneath, obviously,
Yes.
then make sure that you varnish
Right.
afterwards.
Because like I'm going to now pull this in and look at that. Or the other thing is you do is you just start adding other things to it.
That's true.
You
Mask
can
it.
use a stencil, right? And cover that up.
Put a butterfly on it.
Right. Make it steampunk and add some gears to it because
Yeah.
she's a little steampunky in her.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take these off. I might regret this. So then you just play around and make your little pleats.
Sue says, "Oh, make a dress to add to the dress form."
I was going to do that. That was
Mm.
my idea last night, and I completely forgot about it. Yes. She needs I would need like strips
Yeah.
of a pretty fabric. And yes, that was actually on my mind last night. And you
Rennie
could,
says, I can see the gloves are definitely needed.
yeah, especially if you're going to dye it first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You can also use that batik
Mm,
product, works
yeah.
well with this. But I would think any kind of acrylic paint would work well. I mean, that's really, pigment paste is just very saturated paint.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's see if this.
Sue says that's her plan as she waits for the mold.
I missed that. What'd you say?
Sue said that that's her plan as she waits for the mold to make the dress.
Oh, gotcha.
Dress
Yes.
form.
Yes.
I know the mold will be in soon.
Yes, they're coming.
Yep,
So
definitely coming.
because I varnished, this is coming off nicely.
Mm-hmm.
So it is fine.
That's so cool. See, all you need is a little bit of gold to show it off now.
Yeah, I think so. And you can use a little piece of molding here to make it look like this curtain is on a chain,
Mm-hmm.
or what would you call that? A curtain rod. That's what you
Yeah,
would call it.
like,
So it needs a few more things, but this was my idea.
I love
And then
it.
I'll put a little cord.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the curtain.
This is so cool. Such
And
a fun
that's,
little piece to put on a wall in like a dressing room,
yes.
wardrobe, if you want to do it all up.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Or just in the bathroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wherever you get ready for the day.
And that's it. So that's why I think you need the big one, is because it does soak up a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have to scrape any off, but it does take a little bit of the product. But if you're just making a little dress for her, the little bottle's fine. That's plenty. And then the metal pigments would look really pretty on the dress and make her
Yeah.
all um, little
Sparkly.
steampunky. Yeah. I saw some people making pumpkins. They took the material and soaked it in the fabric hardener, and then, shaped the pumpkin and put burlap, or not burlap, this some kind of string or ribbon to sort of make the lines of the
Mhm.
pumpkin. They looked really cute. I thought that was a good idea for fall. So that's really all there is to fabric hardener.
Very fun. A very fun product.
Yeah. Are there any other questions?
I don't think so. Not right now, but we'll see. We'll wait a minute or two. If you
Okay.
have any questions about fabric hardener, let us know now while we're here.
So I'll take a picture of this when it's done as well. I'll add the wax to it and show you. But by this time tomorrow, it should be pretty much hardened, because the t-shirt's so thick, and I sort of layered it like that. It does take a while to dry. So just walk away. Don't mess with it.
Step away from the project. Okay. Yeah, no questions. Just everybody saying thank you for the ideas, and they want to see the ghosty.
Yeah, that'll be neat. I'll see if I can finish that up, and I'll have to look for some lights so you get the full effect.
Indeed. Well, thank you, everybody. We will see you again next Saturday. It'll be us again. next Saturday, and we'll be talking about varnishes and all different types of varnishes that there are out there. So um, make sure that you tune in because there's a lot of different types, and they're all needed for something. So yeah, tune in.
Yep.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for watching, guys.
everybody. We'll see you next Saturday.